Hello, pet parents. This is Soumya from Pet India, your host for today. And as promised, we are here with yet another new and interesting session about traveling with our pets in trains and planes. Please welcome our expert guest for today, Faisal Islam, the Managing Director of DBB Worldwide, which specializes in pet travel and relocation. People who are watching us right now, please feel free to drop in your queries in the comment section below. We know that a lot of you had a lot of queries regarding traveling and relocation of your pets. So now is the time. If you have any queries, please drop it in the comment section below, and we will be answering your questions on traveling or relocation of your pets. So Faisal, welcome to the live chat.
Hello, Soumya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All good. Oh, yes, please.
Okay, so as a managing partner of DBV Worldwide Private Limited, Faisal Islam is the driving force behind bringing out the most excellent and expedient pet relocation and baggage transfer services. He is here to help us with his insights on his, business, and also to discuss about how can one travel with their pets or relocate them. So, as I said, people who are joining us now, please drop in your queries in the comment section below and we'll be answering them for you.
For sure.
Faisal, let's start with the most basic of questions. What are the various modes of transportation or relocation that we can look at before we are making the move of our pets?
Sure. Well, the first and the foremost thing is exactly there are three typical modes of transportations which are available in order to take any pet baby from point A to point B, like from any point destination to any location. So the very first way is via road. So via road it can be done. Via road, multiple pets can be accommodated from point A to point B with utmost safety, and it can be done via road also. The second and the very important way to relocate any baby with very less hassle is via air, because in terms of via air it is only in terms of 4 to 6 hours any baby is relocated from point 1 to point B. And so being a pet relocation expert, the whole idea is to choose the mode which is more comfortable, less hassle free, and less hassle, and much more healthier in a way for the pet. Yeah. So, and the third and the final option is via rails also. Via rails also on the in the longer journeys where there is no airways connectivity. And if for example, if it is like Delhi to Shillong, this distance is quite a much. There is no direct flight connectivity via road. If you try to do it by road
Right.
also, it is not possible 2,000 kilometers. So imagine yourself and myself traveling on a road for 2,000 kilometers along with a baby, cute baby of 2, 3, 4 years old, a boy or a girl, dog, cat. So eventually it is practically, once we plan it out, it is not at all feasible in terms of safety and comfort of the baby. So yeah, the very first point is to find out the destinations, for example, where exactly the pet has to be relocated, and then
Right.
according to the destination we plan out or we choose the best mode of transport for them.
All right, makes sense. Okay, so let's address all the modes of transportation one by one. People
Sure.
who are watching us now, we are discussing about how we can travel with our pets through trains, planes, via road, or what kind of things that you need to keep in mind when you're relocating your pet. So let's address the airline mode of transport first. Now,
Sure.
addressing airline travel for pets. The first thing I'm sure the viewers would want to know, would like to know, which a lot of people were asking us since we announced that you're going to be here in the live chat discussing about it,
Yeah.
was which airlines in India and abroad allows pets to travel? Which are
Sure.
those airlines?
Yeah. So let's see. These are two very different relocation process actually. In terms, if you say about domestic relocation of pets, it's a totally different provision and totally different airlines working in these sectors. However, once it comes to international airlines, international relocation, so we have to get in touch with the airlines. Again, it depends on the what sector the pet baby has to be relocated. So let's touch and let's dissect it a little bit, and let's come on the first point, which is domestically. So
Right.
domestically, if you say in domestic, there are only very few aircrafts and very few airlines which are actually pet friendly. And
Okay.
even if the airlines which are pet friendly, we need to check the route of the specific aircraft. For example, if let's say there is a relocation from Mumbai to Dehradun, so
Mhm.
it is a domestic relocation. Let's say,
Right.
in terms of if we touch about the subject, who are the pet friendly airlines? So it is SpiceJet and Air
Right.
India. These are the
Okay.
most commonly used airlines, because if we
Okay.
say Vistara, Air Asia, or other airlines, so all
Hmm.
these airlines work with a different aircraft type. And different aircraft type means they do not have pressurized control or oxygen supply in the whole aircraft. So
All right.
once we say pet friendly airlines means we need to find the right aircraft, right airlines which will be taking responsibility to take our baby from point A to point B with the utmost safety, which is the
Right.
primary concern for any pet parent or for any relocation agent.
Right.
So
Right.
again, now after finding the right airlines, okay, now you and me, we are aware, okay, if we need to travel from Mumbai to Dehradun, let's say, with our baby 4-year-old golden retriever, so
Hmm.
we need to go via airlines, because via road it is not possible. Long distance air not possible. Trains are not providing services currently. So via air, may then the most important point is the aircraft which the respective airlines, let's say we have chosen SpiceJet. SpiceJet is a pet friendly airlines, but the aircraft which they are using between Bangalore to Dehradun, Mumbai to Dehradun, is not pet friendly. They
Okay.
because Mumbai to Delhi it will be a bigger aircraft, but then from
Right.
Delhi it turns into a smaller aircraft, because Dehradun is a smaller city, a smaller space,
Right.
smaller area, smaller station. So a
Right.
smaller version of the aircraft goes, and that smaller version of the aircraft is not actually pet friendly. So even
Right.
if we have a pet friendly airlines, we need to check what routes we are moving the baby, and whether for that route, if it is a direct flight or not. If it is a direct flight, whether that has pressurized control, oxygen supply. So these all are the various points, pinpoint details which we have to take care in mind while making bookings with the respective airlines. Plus
Right.
plus we also need to understand this thing, as in domestic, if like minding the current minding the whole situation of India, we are almost second largest, in terms of population.
Yeah.
So there is a
Yeah.
lot of burdens with the airlines. There is a lot of almost continuous movements with the airlines. So
Right.
now, if you think that okay, it is we can simply go to the airlines and we can ask them to relocate our baby. So it is sometimes a challenging task, because
Right.
the information which you get from airlines over the call might not be
Uh-huh.
100% validated, because there is no one answerable. You can simply
Right.
call Air India or any other agency, and you can speak to someone person who gives you some XYZ amount of information. But then the
Hmm.
next time once you call, if someone gives you other information and you want to cross verify it, some other person speaks it, and probably
Right.
he might not convey the same exact information. So
Right.
now here is a discrepancy. Now there is a confusion. And in
Right.
terms of live animals, these are a special category of cargo. It is not
Uh-huh.
just a normal cargo. We have to
Right.
be pinpoint with the whole planning and then
Uh-huh.
execution of these. This is yes, domestically, Air India, Air Asia, Air India and SpiceJet are pet
Right.
friendly airlines.
Right.
However, or depending upon the routes, also we get the information from last time whether they will be accepting our baby or not.
Right, right. Okay, okay, great.
Plus,
So basically, it's not just about the airline. So airline, obviously, SpiceJet and Air India, which are pet friendly. But even in that, we have to know whether the aircraft that they are using for that purpose of that for that
exactly.
route that we are looking at should
Exactly.
also be pet friendly, right?
Second most important point is, even in with domestic relocations, there is another challenge. For example, see, dogs and cats are two different kinds of breeds. In
Right,
your home, my home, if they are together since childhood, so they can be friends. But then eventually, some my dog traveling with some other person's cat. So
right,
now cat can be little in a traumatized position while they are in the aircraft cargo whole division. And the live animal, there is a dog, 2 3 dogs being relocating, and there are 2 3 cats. Dogs are barking, probably they are uncomfortable for initial 2 3 5 minutes when the plane
right,
is taking off, so they
right,
can get little healthy. So now there is another very 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 important point which we need to cross verify from the airline. So we need to check while making bookings with the respective airlines,
right.
whether while we are making a booking, let's say for our cat,
Uh-huh.
so is there any other dog booked for that sector for that
Okay,
specific flight?
right.
If
Hmm.
any other dog is already booked, so we don't send cats. Like, I
Okay.
mean, airlines people will also not accept cats, because
Oh,
eventually, for every person, the whole idea is safety and comfort of the pets. These are a special category of cargo, live animals, based one, but so we have to be very. poor souls. We have to be, we have to be on toes while dealing with them. And
Mhm.
airlines wants to be 100% sure, if while offering their services, they want to be sure, like whether they any airlines which are pet friendly airlines also, now they'll be needing certain documents and this and that. So we can certainly go ahead and check all the process, and we can certainly go ahead and talk about it also. Sure.
Right, 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 right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. So now we're talking about pets being traveling in the cargo department, like the cargo section of the plane. That's what you said while addressing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
question. Now, is that the only place where a pet can travel in a plane? Like, is it always in a crate in the luggage compartment, or do the small pets, at least, like maybe cats or small breeds, can they get to travel in the cabin as well? So, is it possible? Does it happen frequently? And can you help us understand like certain rules of different airlines, for this particular
Certainly.
luggage compartment thing, or whether there are certain airlines who even let small pets travel in the cabin as well, and how safe the entire process is, because there is a lot of narrative about how it is just, even in pet friendly aircrafts, it is just not safe to
Exactly.
uh, have pets in the luggage compartment. So can you just throw some light on that?
Surely, Soumya. See, this is a very valid point raised by you. Okay, there are certain pets of smaller breeds. See, in pets also there are different kinds of breeds which when we deal with pets. There are, like for example, Lhasa Apsos or Shih Tzus. There are
Right.
smaller breeds and very cute smaller breeds. Let's say Golden Retrievers, the beautiful boys, but then huge, little bigger in
Yeah.
size. German Shepherd, GSDs. So
Right.
they're like shepherd dogs, little huge in size. So
Right.
every airlines has a different acceptance policy. So
Okay.
once let's say every airlines has a different acceptance policy when it comes to taking them along with you inside the cabin. So yes,
Okay.
of course, airlines do have facilities in which a
Okay.
pet babies can go along with us inside the cabin.
Okay.
However, the condition, a general condition, basic condition which every airline says is like, if the weight of the pet is less than 5 kgs. So
Oh,
yes, yeah. If
all
the
right.
weight, because if the weight is less than 5 kgs, so it is a smaller breed, so probably
Yes.
much more handler, and there are special bags which are available to carry them inside the cabin, so they can be accommodated. Second important aspect which you need to check, if the age of our baby, let's say age,
Oh,
our weight of our cat or dog, let's say, is less than 5 kgs, but then age is 5 years. So
okay.
again, no, it is not allowed. So there is two
Okay.
important points which
Okay.
any airlines checks while accepting the pet as a cabin mode, or as a excess baggage, or as a cargo mode, in which 99% of the pets travel as a cargo mode.
Right.
So the
Right.
two important points is age should be less than 2 years and weight should be less than 5 years. If these are the
5 kg.
basic two categories, yeah, sorry, 5 kgs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Age 2 years less than, and weight 5 kgs less than. And then once we have meet all these criteria, we will get call the respective airlines by which we are trying to fly. Now it is up to the airlines giving acceptance. Okay, now we'll call the airlines. Okay, XYZ Airlines. Okay, I am traveling from, let's say, Delhi to Goa, and I have a 1 year old cat which weighs less than 4 kgs. So can I
Right.
take that inside the cabin? If it
Right.
is allowed by that respective airlines to allow, it can be
Right.
allowed. And just in case if they allow, so person has to make the bookings with the respective airlines on that same ticket only, with passenger ticket only.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So, okay, two questions that I have in mind because of your answer. One is that when they're booking, is it can they book their own ticket online and then probably get their pet ticket, or does it all have to be in the same like time when they're contacting the airline? And second is that since SpiceJet and Air India both were the pet friendly airlines that you said, so they have this provision of getting our pets in the cabin mode, right? As
Yeah.
long as meeting the conditions.
Yeah.
Is that right?
However, yeah, this is very true. This is very true. The SpiceJet and Air India, they generally check all these basic points, and they certainly sometimes allow. However, I might also say, in terms of domestic relocations, it is very, 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 very negligible that airlines allow any pets to be relocated inside the cabin. And in very special cases, they do allow. 99% of cases, they want safety and everything, of the pet also. And once pet is relocated via cargo mode, so via cargo mode, there is a totally different provision. Totally different provision means you are taking the vaccination books, you're checking the latest vaccination records, you're taking a health certificate issued by the respective veterinary, and which
Right.
is wow, giving you which is giving you an undertaking, which is giving a guarantee that yes, the pet baby is fully vaccinated, and
Right.
he's 100% safe. There is no communicable disease which can
Mhm.
transfer from him to other person or to the crate. And he's fit for road travels, and he's fit for air travels. And once
Right.
we have that written authorization from a local veterinary, all these documents have been submitted to the respective airline. So at this cargo mode, airlines is also in a kind of assured that
Right.
yes, pet is in a safest way possible. He's healthy. We have all the relevant documents. The provision is taking. There are XYZ person who's taking care of it. In cargo hold, there is a total different provision.
Right.
At the cargo division, there is special airlines trained staff, pet trained staff, which are there to hand over or take care of the pet. While you and me go to the passenger section of the aircraft, there are, if I am sure, domestically, very rare you might have seen any pet or cat or dog which is there at the
Very,
passenger
yeah.
section. Very
Yeah.
rare.
Hard.
In terms
Yeah.
of in terms of international travels, yes, there is a, let's say, in terms of out of 10, there are three out of 10, three people generally, if they're having a smaller breed of pets
Mhm.
and less than 2 years of age, again the claw. So
Yeah.
they can certainly, international airlines, they certainly allow, and they give the acceptance for the pet, and they allow pet to relocate in the cabin also. One,
Right.
acha,
Which one? Which one are these airlines? Which international airlines are these?
well, again, let's see. For example, it depends. The world is so big. So, let's say if you're traveling to, let's say if you're traveling to Canada. So for Canada, major airlines which we generally choose is the Air France or KLM Airlines. Let's say
Mm.
if it is America, so America, probably some different airlines are working. Let's say if
Right.
it is some of the Middle Eastern country. So
Right.
so you're traveling to Doha, Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, some other places. So they have Emirates Airlines, Etihad Airlines, and so different airlines have different pet policy, and they work on different routes. Plus, in
Okay.
international, maybe I'm jumping on the topic, but it is something
No,
important
that's
thing
fine.
which came
Yeah.
in my mind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
for example, an international travels, domestic, it is like 2.5 hour flight. Delhi,
Right.
Bombay, I book the boat, baby pet in cargo, and just 2 to 3 hours, they are from point A to point B. But if Soumya is permanently relocating to US, let's say, and someone
Right.
wants to take, someone wants to take the baby along. So the
Right.
procedure would be, yeah, so the procedure would be, first of all, we need to check the pet friendly airlines. Then we need to
Mhm.
check the flight routes. And when we
Right.
say flight routes, so traveling to US, 17 hours flight, dude.
Right.
17 hours, the pet is there in a cargo hold division inside inside the fiber kennel.
Right.
They might behave in a different way. So now,
Right.
as up to us, and as we now, like any pet relocation agency, they work in the guidelines set by IATA for air transit and IPTA for Animal Welfare Association. So that we are 100% pinpointly taking pet in the mind while planning the route for the baby. So for live animals, we'd never take a direct flight from let's say Delhi to US. We never take a direct flight. We would like to take a flight which have a 5 to 6 hours halt. Let's say in Heathrow or some other place, Frankfurt. Where their
Uh-huh.
pet is out from the cargo hold of the area, and there is a food packet which is attached with the cargo crate, with the fiber crate. At least 2 to 3 meals we attach with the crate. There is a
Right.
specific water cannons, water fixtures which is there. Then
Right.
while airline, let's say we are relocating any pet from Delhi to Canada, and we
Right.
book the ticket via Air Canada. Now Air
Mhm.
Canada says, okay, there is a 5 hours layover at Heathrow
Mhm.
Airport. Now, Heathrow Airport staff is, again, they're aware, because once we make booking with the airlines, they're aware that there are four pets which are boarded from India. They are going to Canada, and there is a 5 hours layover at London. So they are aware. The manifest is there. They are aware
Right.
that they have to go and check on the babies. They have to go food, water, this and that. Even European countries that they are pro, they have pet hotels, dude. So they have
Right.
pet hotels. Like if some like pets are traveling in Germany, they have pet hotels. If there are like 5, 6, 7 hours, there are different flights, smaller returns, some cancellation, this that. So they have pet hotels. Yeah, things are moving in a positive
Right.
direction for pets.
Right, right. Makes sense. Okay, so definitely, if we are going for an international travel, then it should be a flight which has some, hours of halt and not like a direct 17 hour
Some
flight or something.
Yeah, plus international relocation is a totally longer journey, longer cycle of relocation, because
Right,
as each country has its own acceptance policy.
right,
So very quickly I would like to check the like to touch this base. Let's say if we want to relocate our baby to some American country or Canada or some South American country. Let's say we
right.
want to someone want to send the baby to Mexico or
Mm-hmm.
US or Canada. So the whole procedure can be done in 10 to 15 days, because it is
Right,
not like that. I have booked my tickets for tomorrow, and I go to the airlines and say, okay, this is my dog. I want to take it to US or Canada. Or so you get in touch with some agency, pet relocation agency in just 2, 3 days. It is not possible, because there is a whole procedure, planning, and then executing that plan so that 100% in the safest way possible the relocation of the baby can be done. Again,
okay,
pet centric services, everything is dependent on the pet centric. So and first of all, there is no as such a requirement by Canada or US government for pets.
okay. Yeah, you're back. Can you hear me?
Let's say if you're traveling to some European country, so in this scenario, generally European countries have their own different acceptance policy. There is a test called titer test.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a test called titer test, and these European countries need the titer test. And titer test means, for example, we if I gave the blood sample for titer test today, then only after there is a cooling off period of 90 days. That means,
Okay.
for example, if I have to fly, let's say in August first 10 days,
Uh-huh.
and I want to take my dog. There is no one to take here in India with my dog. My whole family lives there in US, or let's say London, because you're talking about European countries. So let's take the example of London or Buenos Aires, Argentina, wherever. So in this scenario, we need a mandatory. There is a mandatory cooling off period of 90 days. Whatsoever is the case, before the cooling off period gets completed, we cannot take our pet outside from India. So
Okay.
we need to arrange the documents for international, yeah, for international relocations. We have dissected the international relocation at least 3 to 4 basic parts. The first
Right,
part is we like to check information from customer on what kind of visa is he traveling actually. What kind
right,
of visa? Matlab, that means we need to check it out whether if someone is traveling for a tourist visa. You're a tourist. You're going for 2 months, 3 days, 15 days to Dubai, or let's say 1 month to 2 months. Shanigan visa. You're jotting down the whole of the Europe from top to bottom, and you want to take. No, I'm emotionally supported with my dog. I want to take my dog along with me, but we are giving on tourist visa for 3 months. Even if
uh,
you pay XYZ amount to anyone, it is not
okay.
possible. Because
Yeah, I think Faisal, we are trying to get him back. People who are joining us now, we are here. We are discussing everything that we need to know about our pets' travel and relocation within India or abroad through planes, trains, roads. And Faisal here, the managing director of DBB Worldwide, which is an expert in pet relocation and travel. He is here to answer all the queries. If you have any questions regarding your pet's travel and relocation, you can comment below. We lost you there, but yeah, so we were, now that you're back, you were talking about how whether or not we take our pets along with us in case we're going on a tourist visa.
I'm sorry, there was some glitch, I believe.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you were in the middle of telling us whether or not we can take our pets along with us in case we are traveling to Europe in a tourist visa. Is that possible? Can
Yes, yes. No, no, that is not possible. Indian government does not allow any person or traveling on tourist visa. See, in past it has been observed by Indian government, and because sometimes there are some people who work on monetary basis, and they use these puppies, these poor souls, for breeding purpose, unethical
right,
breeding purposes. So Indian government do not allow in any case or scenario to someone to use his dogs, either to come any dog which is coming India for breeding purpose, any Indian baby to go abroad on tourist visa for breeding purpose, or even for general purpose, they do not allow. So
they
the
do not.
very first thing is, yeah, they do not allow.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, so let's get into more about the formalities that one needs to complete with these airlines. So let's talk about domestic travel and international travel. Now, what are the formalities that one needs to complete with these airlines? So, can you just tell us, like, can you help us? People are really wanting to know about what is the entire process, like a step by step process about what kind of paperwork is required, how to book the ticket, everything, and how the boarding and the deboarding of the pet will be done, and everything along those lines. So please help us out with the step by step process.
Sure, sure. Sure. See, in terms of, let's touch the base for domestic relocations first. And in domestic, let's take an example. If some baby is traveling through Carnival, so there are, again, the very first step is to approach the respective airlines, a pet friendly airlines who is having a service in our sector. So, being, for example, if I want to relocate my baby, if I'm traveling to, let's say, Shillong, again, or not Shillong, let's say Gangtok, Sikkim, Manipur. So I need to check whether we have a flight connectivity to Sikkim or not, and if there is a flight connectivity, again, pet friendly airlines or not. But as we are again aware that there is no airport in Sikkim, so the nearest airport is Bagdogra. So we need to, the very first point is, we need to check the direct flight connectivity to the destination, nearest airport which is active to our destination. Then the very first thing is, then another second thing is to make the bookings with the respective airlines, to check whether they are accepting pets for that sector or not, whether the aircraft which they're using are live animal supportive or not. The third thing would be arranging all the documents. When I say arranging all documents, as we are dedicated pet lovers, so we do take care of our pets. We certainly take them to the local veterinaries, and general cases, all of the pet parents do have their vaccination records of the babies. They have the latest vaccination records of the babies. So for us and for any pet relocation agents, or for any airlines, the first primary importance is having a look on the original vaccination book to check the owner details and the pet details. Okay, it's a Labrador, it's a 2-year-old Labrador. Okay, last all 4 vaccinations are done. So all this information which we are fetching from the vaccination book,
Right.
which customer has to provide to the respective airlines. And if we
Okay.
don't have the latest vaccination record, so prior to our travel, let's say we gave the rabies vaccination or boosters, and this that last year, let's say in June, and
Right.
June 2019, and June 2020, my vaccinations of the pet was completed. But because of this COVID, probably we were unable to go to the respective veterinary and get the latest booster or latest vaccination done. And now
Right.
vaccination is due by 20 days.
Right.
And now I am simultaneously I am planning to Bagdogra, dude. So how we
Right.
can do is, if we say, okay, okay, this is the vaccination book, and see, vaccinations are done. It is just the last vaccination is missing by 20 days. So airlines
Mhm.
won't accept it. No, no, no. So we need
Okay.
the latest vaccination record also on the vaccination book. So the
All right.
first thing, latest vaccination book, latest vaccination record. Once you have latest vaccination record, then we'll be needing a certificate called health certificate. Now,
Right.
in most of the cases, if we are available in the same place, so generally we are tend and we are habitual to take our pets to the same, like our genuine known veterinaries who are giving vaccinations, and they're having all records of our babies. So they're aware of the whole prior pet history also. and they simply examine the pet, physical examine of the pet. They check the vaccination book. If something vaccination is missing, they give a booster of it. They give the vaccination, and they're on their letterhead, and they write the specific information that pet is in a fit to find condition and is ready to fly and ready to, like, in fit condition for air travels, for road travels. There is no communicable disease which can be relocated. And yes, this is these and in domestic, the health certificate is valid only for 24 hours. This is an important point which we need to remember. That means
Right.
once we have a fixed date, that okay, let's say we are flying on 15th of July from Delhi to Mumbai. So on 14th of July, we need to get in touch with the veterinary and get the health
Okay.
certificate issued.
Okay.
These
So
are
a
the
day
basic
before
three
of the
documents
travel,
which
like
are required.
a
Yes, a
day
day
before the
before of the
travel.
travel.
Okay. Okay.
Ji.
Okay, so these are the three documents, the paperwork that's required. What about
For
booking the ticket, and then how, like, the entire boarding, deboarding of pet? How does the airline go about it? What do we do as
once
someone waiting for their pet to get relocated?
Sure. See, once we have and all the documents in place, then
Hmm.
we will be as we'll be checking which sector we are flying, whether there is a direct flight connectivity, because we need to check. Let's say if we are flying from Bangalore to Guwahati, let's say. So Bangalore to Guwahati, we have an Air India flight, but Air India flights goes via Calcutta. Then it goes from Bangalore to Calcutta. It stays there for 1 hour, and after one stop, 1 hour or 1.5 hour layover, it goes to Guwahati. Now we need to check if we are trying to book our. It is a pet friendly airlines.
Right.
It is going from Bangalore to Guwahati, from where to which sector which I want. But it is not a direct airlines. So
Right.
airlines people will not take bookings for that. We need to find the direct routes. Once we have the direct routes, then we'll have to contact the cargo agencies or airlines people or any pet relocation expert who are pro in dealing with the airlines people. So that there is, because one there is no discrepancy, there is no miscommunication when it comes to live animals. It is again the reason why I'm saying this live animal is special category. We had to be on our toes, minding summer temperatures have to be taken care, flight timings have to be taken. There are more than 10 to 15 points which has to be taken into the consideration while going ahead and moving the pets through air, through road, or through train, and any mode. So we need
Right.
to, the second step, third step would be making bookings with the respective airlines for that
Right.
specific time or date which we want the baby to
Right.
be flight. If airlines gives us acceptance, then they will see. And the domestic, they will give you a verbal acceptance. There is no as such documentation which is exchanged between airline people or between customers. So this there comes the role of some pet relocation agencies where someone is answerable for you. Okay, okay, due to XYZ reason, if someone is dealing with the airlines. So everyone wants a 100% sure answer. It cannot be okay, yes sir, आपका pet relocate हो भी. If you go to airlines, yes, everything will be done, but just in case some mortuary dead body comes, because with airlines, uh, we have acceptance. Airline gives us acceptance. We have all documents in place, and
Right.
let's say everything was planned. We
Right.
moved to the airport, and
Right.
last moment some dead body came.
Okay.
So yeah, so in this scenario, we never send
Right.
back. So,
Right.
these are called some last minute cancellations. Though we have all kind of respective bookings, we have 100% confirmation. But with airlines, there are last minute cancellations, and
Okay.
last minute cancellations are in the cases if there are some dead body come, some special army movements. So
Right.
army is given priority. Let's say,
Right.
minding the current situation, there are some political issues going on and some army movements for some border areas. So what happens is we generally lots more than tens or fifties of pets are daily going to from Delhi to Guwahati, Delhi to Imphal, Delhi to Silchar, Delhi to other relocations in Bagdogra, all these border regions of areas. So
Right.
though customer might have all the bookings, acceptance from the airlines, and once finally they go to the airport with their babies, airlines deny. No, sorry, we cannot take your pet because some army movement is going on, and first preference is for armies. Or some dead body is there. With dead body, we do not send pets or cats or dogs, any pets, or some radioactive material. Minding the current pandemic situations, whole
Right.
of the working was upside down because
Right.
rates were increased from airlines, very
Right.
airlines were working on very limited. At earlier
Right.
we used to have 10 flights from Delhi to Mumbai.
Right.
So just in case
Right.
because some XYZ, there is a last minute cancellation. So we can place our rebooking at the next flight, which is going out just after 2 hours or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And on the same day,
Right.
but then minding the current pandemic situation, there is only one flight per day or probably one flight every 2 day. So
Right.
now, even if we have oxygen, so the pinpointing, planning, executing, and then with 100% safety, with babies relocated.
Great. Okay. Before we move on to the audience questions, let's just talk about the second mode of transportation that you had mentioned in the start of the session, which is trains. Okay. So, although you said that train is like the third most preferred route for relocation, why is it so? Like, what are some pros and cons of traveling in a train as compared to traveling in the air or through air, and what are the various trains in India that allow pets? Are there any specific trains that allow pets, or what are those trains named as? Can you just tell us a lot about train travel?
Sure. See, in terms of domestic relocations, and if we travel via train with our babies, the very first and the reason we choose train relocations in the third way is as the train relocation journey, the duration of the relocation is too much. So let's say if you are going from let's say Delhi to again Bagdogra, Guwahati, or Mumbai, Bangalore, or let's say Orissa, or let's say Goa. So train journeys are at least for 24 hours, at least 24 hours train journey. Even if we take so first, the first and the foremost thing is there is not any train will take the live animal booking. So let's say if we book ticket for the second class AC or something like that, and we're traveling with our pet, we have all the relevant documents, our smaller breed or bigger breed, and
Right.
finally we go to the railway station. TC, train conductor, or railway IRCTC people will not allow pet to be boarded in the a passenger section of the cabin. It is
Okay.
not allowed. In with passengers, live animals are not allowed. So
Right.
now what will happen? Now we need to figure it out the best possible way, and with 100% safety we can relocate. So the best possible way for domestic relocation is relocating the babies via only AC trains, which have AC first
Right.
class cabins. Let's say
Okay.
Rajdhani or other trains which we have. And
Right.
once we have all these, so we need to make bookings for cabins. We
Cabins.
need
Okay.
either
All
cabins or coupes. So generally we make bookings for coupes and cabins. So now there is a two things actually which goes on. Once we talk about cabins or coupes, in cabin there are four people which can be accommodated inside a cabin.
right.
So if we are traveling, let's say I'm traveling with me, my father, and let's say my sister, and I have a dog. So four of us are there, so we can certainly go ahead and make a booking for the cabin. And now we can certainly go ahead and make a booking for the cabin, but it is known to us only 4 hours prior to the a railway departure time. Rail departure time, whether we have been allotted a cabin or a coupe or not,
Mm-hmm.
whether four of the tickets are together or not.
Right.
So these are things which have to be. So in general cases, in most of the cases, they have to, we have to make AC first class coupe or cabin bookings. Once we
Right.
have the cabin or coupe allotted, then
Mm-hmm.
we have to again we need to prior the journey from the start only. Because
Okay.
now, for example, if we are traveling from home, the journey is for 2 days or more than 24 hours. So you are there in the train with the baby inside the cabin for more than 24 hours, in which he cannot simply go out for his urination or toiletry needs, whatever oral sensation needs which the pet has. So we have to make, or probably we have to take the items which are required for his fooding purpose, for water purpose, all the basic things, basic amenities which is required for the pet baby or food, dog or cat for their his food needs at first. We need to take care
Right.
of it. Then
Right.
in train, even if it is a cabin thing, there is a special designated thing. Uh, no one is allowed, or it is not comfortable. So, their pools and paws can be taking their toiletry needs inside the cabin. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to wait for some major station. So practically, once you are going to do that, let's say you're traveling to Delhi to Goa. Yeah, you need to
Right.
wait. Okay, Delhi to Goa, Rajdhani first major stop for 10 minutes, come to Kota. So, okay, now we
Okay.
are waiting for Kota. Okay, once Kota will come, I will have to take my baby outside the station premises. Now, we
Okay.
are there at the train, Rajdhani. So, if we are
Right.
traveling two, three, four people, okay, people are there. If I am alone traveling with my dog, I'm taking him to I cannot simply go out of the train cabin and, make him free. So I have to go to the thoda far section of the area where
Right.
they can be freed, and then eventually it is just a 5 minute stop. Rajdhani, it's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
15-20 minute they're stopping.
Yeah.
So in
Right.
5 minutes in a two. So practically there is too much challenges. There are things of
Right.
whether we will be able to make the thing on time or not. And in some cases, people have left the trains. They got out of the train and it took them little longer, and the train departed. In most of the cases, people some people can apply for a cabin, because see, in pet relocation, we can say, once minding a pet, it is little, not very expensive, but it is some it is a process in which little money has to be spent into, because
Right.
if someone is traveling to a train also making two, three, four tickets, AC tickets, at least 20,000 rupees is already gone. So
Right.
taking your baby from your home to the railway station, Ola Ubers do not take dogs and cats. And then
Right.
from railway station to your home, Ola Ubers don't take cats. So even you're
Right.
booking some. So there are a lot of challenges. Even if by yourself, either your some friends and family are dropping you up or picking you up from railway station, then taking the dogs to food and toiletry needs while in transit of the journey, taking them
Right.
outside, bringing them back in. For the whole 24 hours, even if it is a train, it is a continuous movement, so it is not such a very, very comfortable mode of transport. And
Right.
in cases, so this is the basic challenge which generally people face, and this is the reason they're trying to avoid train relocations, and they're trying to opt a faster mode of relocation, which is via air, because in just
Right.
2-3 hours or 4 hours they can reach to point B.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. And schedule, like knowing the schedule of the train seems to be very important, like especially if you're taking the breaks and the toilet breaks and everything for the pet. So, talking about train travel now, can you tell us again, like the same way like you did for the airlines? Can you tell us like another, like the entire step-by-step process of booking a train ticket to travel with your pet, and what kind of formalities here, like what kind of formalities and guidelines do we need to, the documentation and everything that we need to do for train travel with our pets or relocation?
Sure. Sure. See, in terms if we are relocating via train, again now first and the foremost thing is we need to we need to check what destination we are traveling,
Right.
whether to that destination we have a direct first class AC train connectivity with AC
Mm-hmm.
cabin. Once we have done all this information, we can certainly, these days everything is available over the internet. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
we have the liberty to and we have the freedom to check it out over the internet, the flight schedules. But then again, to make the bookings with the respective railways, we need to go to the
Mm-hmm.
railways count physically. We need to go to the
Okay.
railway sections and cargo sections of the railways, and we need to give a written application to them that okay, we are traveling from so and so station to so and so station on so and so date.
Mm-hmm.
And once we give the application to them, they will give up the acceptance of the bag. It is not that, for example, I have my ticket booked for my AC train. I have a small cat which is of 1 year old only. I have a
Mm-hmm.
small crate of it, and I think it's a small cat. I have a full berth of it. I am traveling in. I have not booked my AC first class cabin. So it's like two of our friends are traveling. We got upper niche ki going seat, and it is a small cat. Now I'm just wondering whether on my seat only, because it's a cat, it will not go outside of the cage. Food and everything can be given inside the cage. There are toilet pads and everything inside the cabin, so there is no toilet problem probably. So,
Right.
but then I'm thinking, so I don't want to waste too many money in booking a cabin, 20-25,000 rupees. I've already
Right.
spent 5,000 making my first class cabin. Can I take?
Right.
No, we cannot take. And even if we have first class cabin, even if we have a chair car, this that it is not allowed. So we need
Okay.
to give the application for cabin at least 20 days prior to our travels. At least 20 days.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, in once we have 20 days prior bookings, which we make with the respective railways cargo section, then
Mm-hmm.
after 4 hours, as shared earlier, 4 hours prior to the train departure, we will check in the route whether a cabin or a coupe has been allotted to us. Once we have this, all the precautions that we make the bookings with the airlines, we have the food and items of the baby with us. We have to make the bookings with the respective airlines at least 20 days so that they are aware. Because in general scenarios there is a waiting. In general scenarios there is like for short terms, if I want to make a Rajdhani or cabin or coupe booking for next day, so probably it is for Indian Railways it is little challenging task. But yes, if we make a booking for 1 month, so probably we can get a weekend availability, or there is no waiting, nothing at all. So there are different things which you have to take care from other perspectives also, because it is we are going to use other medium, and we are dependent on the other medium to take to relocate our baby. And if XYZ reason they are not supported, so we cannot take them. Whole of our planning will go in way. So we need to check the availability, compatibility, timing, schedule, and the allocations of births to us, and then eventually this goes step by step.
Right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
With us,
Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. Please
with
go ahead.
being pet education experts, we sometimes we do have connections in the, and we do have agents in airways. As pet education experts, we are in direct and continuous touch with the airlines, because we are relocating multiple pets. So the airlines also have a comfort level in dealing with a specific country, because they're aware. Okay, if we tell them you need to get these two documents, so they're aware. Okay, what documents we're talking about in terms with general
Right.
passengers. The airline people make, or railways people need to make the general people, make them aware. Okay, we are talking about these things, these documents, and some people might get it, some people may not get it. So dealing with customers is a little more not so comfortable with railway people, also with the airlines also. And then there comes roles of some agencies who are pro to it, who are making the lots of babies relocation, taking care of the guidelines and timings, and then safety and comfort, and then economical ways. So all the trouble is been taken by some other person, and then eventually all of the relocation is done. This is how generally it is done.
Right, 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 right. Does sound like a tedious process to go through, you know. Okay, so people who are joining us now, we are talking about pet travel in trains, planes, and petrol relocation. And Faisal here is a pet relocation expert, is to answer all your queries. Let's take some audience questions now. Ankita Acharya says, I want to go to Rourkela with my pet. There is no direct one AC train, no direct flight. In case of train, I have to go to Bhubaneswar by one train and then change another for Rourkela. If I book one complete cabin, the cabin will be confirmed on the day of travel. I have two questions. What if it is not confirmed, and how to inform the second station TT?
Sure, I think it's a very valid point, which has been input, that if someone is traveling to XYZ place, there is no direct train connectivity of the AC train, let's say.
Hmm,
So
hmm.
in this
Right,
scenario, again, as for the train relocation, we were checking out. We need to check the direct train routes. In
okay.
this scenario, first of all, we will be making the bookings with the respective railways, which is traveling to the nearest station of our residence, or our destination. For example,
Right.
in this, the in case of train,
Okay.
it has to be Bhubaneswar. The customer
Yeah.
has to go to Bhubaneswar. So in this
Hmm.
scenario, okay, train has been booked to the Bhubaneswar. From Bhubaneswar, making a different airline booking or different railway train booking, that can be done while we are making the bookings from Delhi to Rourkela or Delhi to Bhubaneswar. On the same time, we'll be making the booking from Bhubaneswar to Rourkela in advance, 20 days in advance, so that we are aware. Because in general cases, in general scenarios, getting the confirmation of tickets or bookings or seat in less than 24 or 48 hours time of span with IRCTC, little challenging task. Even with the airlines also, it is little challenging task. So what we can do to avoid any last minute hassle, we advise our customers to plan it out in advance only. So rather than making a booking for 20 days in advance, make a booking 30 days in advance. Because with us, we are aware, okay, my exams are gonna finish in the month of July, and probably I need to relocate back to my native place in Bhubaneswar or Rourkela, or let's say Imphal, some other places. So in this scenario, yes, we will first of all make the booking from Delhi to Bhubaneswar via AC from Delhi itself, and again from Bhubaneswar to Rourkela from Delhi only from 30 days prior, so that we have all the confirmations at prior, because we are aware Bhubaneswar ko humko train ko will have to change it, because there is no easy connectivity from Bhubaneswar to Rourkela. We have to take another train. We are aware of this scenario, so what we can do to avoid any last minute hassle, make the bookings in advance. If we have all the
But
confirmed bookings in advance,
yeah, yeah, but according to her, like she says that the cabin will be confirmed on the day of travel. Does it get confirmed on the day of travel whether the cabin, the cabin part?
Generally what happens is, in case of cabins and coupes, yes, it is confirmed on the same day, like 4 to 6 hours prior to the flight departure. So we have to apply for a cabin. So just in case, if we have applied for the cabin anyways, we'll get a cabin or a coupe. And if we are
Right.
getting the cabin, so it is a whole complete cabin with us. That means there is no other passenger. We, even if we get a confirmation of a cabin, we have the cabin. If there is a shortage of cabins and we got associated with the coupes, so we are aware, okay, in coupe there is me and my pet which is traveling. So anyways, there is only two things will be allotted, either coupe or cabin. If we are giving an application, a written application to IRCT out here in Indian office and railways at Baroda House or wherever, in the railways office at Nizamuddin railway station or near New Delhi railway station, if we're giving a written application, that means we are giving a written application to book a cabin or a coupe. That means we are making a booking for it. So there is no way that we will be allotted a general. If we have given application for cabin or coupe, will be allotted a general seat. Either will be allotted a cabin or a coupe. वो confirmation 4 hours prior में होता है कि if you applied for a coupe comes of 2 seats. अब coupe के weather पे किसी के साथ merge करके cabin में कर दिया गया है another. That information will be released only 4 hours or 6 hours.
But kuch na kuch confirm hoga. It's not like
Yeah,
she's asking that what
100%.
if it's not confirmed. So it's
100%.
not like nothing will get confirmed or general will get confirmed, right? Something
Yeah.
will get confirmed as long as she's send in a written application.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
and she's asking like once she reaches Bhubaneswar, like after that, how to inform the second station like Rourkela's TT? Do you need to inform the TT there, like that?
no. It is, for example, see, now we are at Bhubaneswar station. We get deboarded from the train which we were coming from Delhi, let's say. Now
Right.
we, as per our schedule, we are aware that the next train which will go from Bhubaneswar station itself to Rourkela from, say, let's say, platform number 6. Because we have
Right.
made the bookings with the airlines, we have written confirmation, we have ticket booking, so we are aware that from Bhubaneswar platform number 6 train will go to Rourkela. So we
Right.
need not to inform. We need not to inform to the TC at Rourkela station. We'll
Right.
simply, as we have the train tickets booked, we have the written application photocopy with us and acceptance from airlines. So we'll simply go to the next train, platform number 6. We visited to our train. Simply, we on the train outside there would be a chart. On the chart, we'll check. Okay, Miss Ankita will check. Okay, Miss Ankita's name is there. Okay, I'm allotted with the coupe. Okay, she has all the relevant tickets. She has
Right.
the written application for pet. She's aware, like she's booked the ticket of the cabin because of this pet thing only. So there is no special pet form of pet ticket which has to be taken at the for the other station, or any special information which is given to the Rourkela station. No, no.
Okay. Okay. I hope Ankita that answers.
We'll simply work it out.
Right, right. I hope Ankita this answers your question. Tamanna says, is it possible that we take our pet abroad with student visa? So we know that tourist visa it's not allowed. Is it allowed to take? Can we take our pets abroad on student visa? Is it possible?
Yes, we can certainly take our pens abroad on student visa. Now again, it depends. If we are going on some kind of internship, let's say we are going for some 6 months of internship in US. Yeah,
Okay.
so probably for 6 months, and see, in terms of taking the babies out from India. It is a procedure called pet export. And when it comes to pet export, there are certain permissions which we have to take from quarantine officers, from airlines. And if quarantine officer is satisfied that yes, the passenger is traveling to this country on a student visa for more than 2 years or 3 years XYZ period, and the pet baby will not be used for breeding purposes, So they can give the NOC, and once we have the NOC, NOC is the first and foremost document which is required by the airlines. And once you have the airlines still sees the NOC, they will confirm us the booking and will allow the pet to get boarded. Otherwise, if you don't have the NOC, so all these questions, whether on student visa, yes, if you are going more than 2 3 years, we have lots of students and lots of customers who travel to Ukraine and Russia. A lot of medical students who are traveling to these parts of world, and they are there for more than 5 6 years, and now they are relocating back to India after their 6 years of completion of their student thing. So now we will be taking the details. Will be taking the details of the university. Okay, what is the time duration, and will be taking their visa ticket. Will be taking the airline bookings also. On which airline have you booked your ticket to travel from so and so place? If you have all these details, yes, we can present your case to the quarantine officer, and they can issue the visa for student visa also. Issue the NOC for student visa.
Okay, okay. So, all right. So, but it should be like more than like 2 3 years. Like the visa
Yeah,
should be for.
for smaller durations, it is not permissible.
It is not permission. Same like for tourist visa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mohammed Nahar asks, I want to take my baby cat with me to Australia from India. Could you please brief the process?
Hey Nahar, thank you for this process. This is again a very important question put up by Mr. Nahar. See, as if we recall, if we go like 10 15 minutes back in our conversation,
Yeah.
when we were talking about international relocation, and we were talking about the rules and regulations of the documentation process. Okay, if you are relocating to some American country, Canada country, or a South American country, there is no special requirements from these countries. They can simply take the babies from India. कि ओके इंडिया से आप आ रहे हो, just the basic take home treatments, regular treatments, and this and that, and it is good to go. For European countries, they need a tighter test. For
Mhm.
Southeast Asian countries, they need a tighter test, plus they need an animal quarantine. They need their pet to be quarantined also. So the Australia and Southeast Asian countries, they have very different and peculiar rules when it
Okay.
comes to relocating of babies from India. So let's say if I am a student, or let's say I am also a card holder. I am a citizenship of Australia, citizen of Australia, and I am here in India taking my pet dog, which is of like 4 years, and want to take him to Australia with me now. I can't live with him, but then Australian government do not allow any pet to enter Australia directly from India. They do not allow only. So if
Oh,
someone
okay.
says, if I am ready to pay 5 lakh rupees to the airlines or to you, yeah, I am ready to pay 10 lakh rupees, it is not
Hmm.
permissible. To Australia, to Japan, it is not permissible. So now how it is allowed? Because in past we have relocated, and now it is my 4 year old boy here. It is my son, my girl. I
Oh,
cannot do it. I need some backup plan if Australia is not allowing my pet directly coming from India. So how can I take? So there is a
yeah.
totally different position. So what we will do, we have our partner agencies in some Southeast Asian country. Let's say Singapore. So
All
what we
right.
will do, I will send Soumya is relocating to like Nahar's pet. So what we will
Yeah.
do, we will relocate Mr. Nahar's pet first of all for 3 months from India to Singapore. Now
Oh,
Singapore, yeah. Now we will make bookings not for Australia. We'll make a whole procedure will be from rather than to Australia. It will be for Singapore. We'll make the bookings for Singapore. We will contact our partner agency in Singapore. He will receive the pet out there in Singapore. Then pet will be there in quarantine for whole 3 months. For three
oh my
months,
God.
he has to be in
All right.
quarantine at Singapore airport. Once
Mhm.
he will be about to complete his 3 months of quarantine period, simultaneously will be making bookings, another booking. Now it's a 2 leg journey, one from India to Singapore, another leg of the journey from Singapore to Australia. Now 3 months is about to complete. Now our partner agencies and we are making bookings with respective airlines and taking permission from an animal quarantine officer from Australia. कि, okay, this is a pet coming from India, 3 months stay in quarantine in Singapore authority, and now we want to send it to Australia. Then Australian and quarantine people will give the NOC and will allow the pet to be entered in Australia. If it in case of Japan, they need a quarantine period of 6 months. That means मुझे अपने बेटे को wife को like my dog or my daughter, what's it? It's like I need to leave my baby for 6 months for some with some other agency in total different country for 6 months, and then eventually they'll have to be we can be reunited. It is possible. It is done. We are doing in some extreme cases, but then directly to
But not
Australia.
really. Mm.
And it is an expensive procedure also. For US you can take it in like lakhs visim, or like say 2-3 lakh rupees. But then as for Australia, it is 3 months quarantine here to
Yeah.
Singapore and Singapore to Australia. The whole procedure expenses is like twice or thrice.
Mhm.
And again, at least 15 to 20 permissions which has to be taken. It is not like simply I have made the booking with Emirates Airlines, let's say, who is flying to Singapore from
Mhm.
Delhi. Now we need to get the NOC, or there is a certificate called no objection. No objection from Singapore Airlines, Emirates office, that yes, a pet is allowed by Delhi or Emirates Airlines to be get boarded, and yes, we are giving him permission to enter Singapore airport, and then once he enter, then he'll be checked by the animal quarantine officer of Singapore Airlines, Singapore authorities, and then eventually goes to the quarantine. So it's a whole web of a process, multiple permissions, multiple alliance with multiple agencies, and then planning and then executing all those plans to do this relocation when the most safest and hassle-free way.
Okay, okay. I hope, Nahar, your query was answered. Sounds like a super duper tedious process. Okay, so, we're up with almost the entire 1 hour of the session, but we still have so many more questions. So let's just take the last two questions of the session, okay,
Sure.
before we close it. People really like the session, Faisal. A lot of people are writing a lot of great things here on the comments. So, your insights really helped. Now, the second last question of the session is that now, because of coronavirus, has it affected, like the entire relocation process and a travel process via trains and via planes? Like, obviously, you told us everything in detail about the entire step-by-step process of traveling and relocation of pets through trains and through planes. So, like like now that coronavirus has come into the picture, what is like? Is there like an extra set of documentation or testing that we require for traveling with our pets, or is it the same procedure? Like, what is that extra thing that we need to take care of during these times?
Yeah, certainly we can do that. See, the first and foremost thing which I would like to mention, Soumya, I would like to thank God that fortunately these pets, these poor souls are not affected by this COVID thing.
Right, right,
So, Dan, this is a very positive point for us, because
right,
just in case if they were affected, there were n numbers of permissions, vaccinations which has to be given to the
right,
pet. So as far as
right.
I am aware, and from the veterinaries, and we relocated from 25th of May till today. We have relocated more than 60 babies all over the India, and
All right.
so we are aware. We are aware. As such, there is no special vaccination, medication, or thing which has to be given to the pets in terms
Mhm.
of these hard COVID times.
Right.
However, because in terms of relocating them via these three different modes, via road, via air, or via train, because of
Mhm.
this closing, all of the planning and everything is changed. I'll be very
Right.
honest, everything is changed because these
Right.
are such uncertain times. So very
Right.
quickly, I will take touch the road mode. Let's say
Right.
if you're relocating few babies from Bangalore to, let's say, Mumbai, from Mumbai to Bangalore, let's say.
Mhm.
Now Mumbai is the Maharashtra, red zones, high on the corona number of counts, and same with the Karnataka state also. And Karnataka state is very much peculiar. They are not allowing any kind of movement from
Yeah.
Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu. So we
Yeah.
have pets which are stuck in Coimbatore or Chennai, and they want to come back to Bangalore, but they are unable because of the restrictions. They are coming, but then eventually now by a road, as there these two borders, these two states are not in open terms. So
Mhm.
let's say from Delhi, Gurgaon, you don't need any specific pass. But for
Right.
travel from Maharashtra, from Mumbai to Bangalore, you need at least 3 to 4 special permissions. Once you
Mhm.
have all these special permission, police passes from district magistrate. Once you have all these district passes and permissions, also you need for example, if you are traveling in your own car, so your test will be done. Every each and every step, your test will be done, just in case if there is slight high temperature and this that, now you're in trouble, because the police authorities will not allow you to move forward from that checkpost point, and you'll be directly relocated from the checkpost point to the nearest
Got it.
the quarantine center which is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the reason we are not advising. We did relocated like couple of pets from Mumbai to Bangalore via road and Mumbai to Coimbatore. Though we had all the necessary permissions and passes, we spent more than 7-8 thousand rupees in getting necessary permissions. In fact, from Mumbai is almost like 1,300 kilometers. Bangalore is. We
Yeah.
covered almost 1,200 kilometers. We
Okay.
were at the outside of 22 kilometers Bangalore, and last checkpost police did not allow. They sent all the three, my driver through attendance to the quarantine facilities, and then car was involved, this and that. So whole of the picture was changed. So
Okay.
getting the babies relocated either by some agency or by ourselves from road, because there are multiple borders between, let's say, Delhi to Dehradun. I have to go to Delhi, Dehradun. It's like 250 odd kilometers. But the three borders, Delhi and then UP and then Uttarakhand. Now we need to check what are the situation between Delhi and UP. Delhi, Ghaziabad, Delhi, Noida, they are not allowing. They're not allowed
Right.
any movement.
Right.
After 7 p.m. there is a curfew. 7 p.m. there is a curfew.
Right.
Well, you pass,
Right.
so you're not allowed. So you need to go before curfew times. You need to have special passes. Now UP Uttarakhand you need to check. Once you have there, and from UP to Uttarakhand you're entering, whether they need pass or there is some agreement between two states. So as of now they don't need it. So okay, you don't need the pass for that. So these are the basic things which we need to take via road. Via air, earlier we had like 10 to 15 flight connectivity, Delhi, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore for the major stations. Let's talk about. Even for the major stations, airlines are not operating on 100% routes. They are working on very limited number of routes,
Right.
very limited number of flight schedules. And if there are limited number of flight schedules, limited number of routes, so more number of people, more number of bookings, more number of planning which has to be done with the, and more licensing which has to be done with the respective airlines. And of course, there are more numbers of last minute cancellations as there are less number of flights there.
Right.
In this COVID times, at times it has been faced that there are some lab test mice are going, some radioactive mice have been relocating in the airlines. Though you have all kind of necessary permissions, there is no army movement, there is no dead body. I simply went to the respective airlines and they gave me the permission, and last minute some lab and some mice is going, radioactive mice. So
Right.
I cannot tell because I am concerned about safety and comfort of the baby. So we do
Right.
not send, lens do not accept. Again, this is so these hard times. Lot of plus IRCT is not actually taking live animal booking. It is only like
Right.
1 week back they started taking bookings for the railway. For the cabin if some passenger is traveling this and that. There the different rules. Otherwise, it is very tough, very to relocate the babies with the utmost safety in the limited time period.
Mm-hmm.
My in the current pandemic situation,
Okay. Okay.
lot of plans have to be done.
So, but IRCTC, like Neeru here asked, like, to do trains follow the same procedure for the pet travel as they were following before Corona? So, is this question even valid? Like, because is IRCTC taking any like bookings on their website at all, or for pet travel? Are they currently taking any bookings? Is it?
They have started taking bookings. However, if you go online, if you like to make a booking online, they will not take, because in case of pet relocations, if you remember, we need to have a retail application and a
Yeah.
hard copy needs to be submitted to the respective window, cargo window. So yes, it is the
Right.
same procedure. IRCT has started taking bookings, but then again, as there are limited number of routes, only few sector trains are working. So again, we need to check whether to our destination there is a direct flight connectivity. If we have a direct flight connectivity, whether we have a AC trains available. If we have AC trains available, whether we have a waiting list or not. If we have waiting list, for example, to Delhi Dehradun, there are a lot of movements happening with Delhi Dehradun. Delhi Guwahati. So one of our friends and family and said that they're traveling to this Dehradun and Guwahati. It's like
Yeah.
there is some relocations which are planned for this sector. It is in the term. Anyways, so Delhi Guwahati, there is a waiting for 20 days. So if I make the booking for Guwahati today, AC
Mm-hmm.
first class, even I'm making a booking, I'm giving permission. So as there is a waiting, so we cannot get a confirmation. It depends on IRCTs whether availability of the seat. 2-3 days prior, we'll get to know whether seat is available or not. 4 to 6 hours prior to the train departure time, we'll get the information whether a coupe is allotted to us or a cabin is allotted to us. And yes, as such, there is they are following the same procedures. There is nothing special requirements from railway side in terms of
Right.
minding the current pandemic corona situation.
Okay,
Health
great.
certificates and all these things which need to be there. That is it.
Right, right. I hope that answers your question, Neeru. This brings us to the last question of the session. What about other animals, other than dogs and cats? If there are any other kind of pets that we want to travel or relocate, is there any different process, or is it just like the same process that we discussed over the entire session for cats and also, or other kind of pets like parrots and all of that? Like,
Yeah.
is it the same process?
See, the process is the same process for other breeds also, for other pets also.
Mhm.
However, in terms of, for example, we are relocating. We did get some certain queries for guinea pigs because a lot of pet parents there and the habit of getting guinea pigs, bunnies,
Yes,
rabbits,
yes,
turtles,
that's right.
tortoise, and fishes
Yeah,
and
turtles and all. Yeah, right,
yeah.
right, right.
So
Mhm.
it is actually depending on the again. Now I need to check the routes. If a direct
Mhm.
flight connectivity is available between my side, Delhi, Bangalore, I have four birds which need to be relocated. I have, let's say, if we have African grey parrot, and I have an African grey parrot four in numbers, and I want to relocate them from Delhi to this place Bangalore.
Mhm.
So the best practice is via air because in like 4 hours the baby will be from point A to point B. But then African grey parrots are prohibited from airlines.
Oh, okay,
So we
okay.
cannot take them. Let's say cocktail birds. Cocktail birds can be relocated by air, but then again we need to get the acceptance from the airline. If we have 10 cocktail birds which need to be relocated from point A to point B, and then we need to share cage sizes of the size of cage, the kind of cage which you're having with the respective airlines. On the basis of these two things, airlines gives us acceptance. Okay. In terms of trains, yes. IRCT make booking with the IRCT first class cabin. Is that yes possible? On normal passenger trains and seats, it is not permissible.
Of course.
Plus, with airlines, in terms of dogs, also, I would like to check and that this final thing before we go, we take a leave.
Yeah.
In
Mhm.
airlines, also, there are certain breeds which are prohibited from airlines. So, let's say I have
Dogs? Dogs?
there are dogs. There are
Oh,
dogs.
okay.
Let's say,
Okay.
yeah, let's say there is a direct flight connected Delhi, Mumbai, Delhi. From Delhi,
Mhm.
we are traveling to Mumbai. I have a 7-year-old pug. We need to be relocated. Now, what to do? I have health certificate. Doctor has given me health certificate. He's fully vaccinated. Everything is done. I respect. I contacted airlines like 5 days prior because I wanted him to be traveling with me because I'm also flying to Bangalore. Probably we
Mhm.
want him to be traveling the same flight. But then
Mhm.
pug is a smaller breed. These are
Right.
snub nose breed. Snub nose breed.
Yes.
Matlab, these are, it has observed if they have breathing problem, even if it is an oxygen supply, even it is a pressurized control, even if it is a live animal pet friendly flight. But then pugs, they have a breathing problem. So airlines do not entertain pugs. They do not take pugs. So in domestic or international, we have n numbers of pugs. We need to be relocated from India to Canada, US, or other parts of world to Qatar, Doha to domestic from Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Bangalore, and interstate relocations. But just because of this airline's acceptance and prohibition on these breeds, these babies are stuck. Now, many babies are stuck because the IRCTC were not taking live animal bookings. So once the in this scenario, we suggest our customers to relocate the babies via railways. Plus, also being pet education expert, our priority is to suggest the pet or parents to travel with pets with the lesser journey. For example, if you travel from Delhi to Mumbai, it is more than almost 15 to 20, 15 to
Yeah,
1600
it
kilometers.
is.
So
Yeah,
if I travel in my car, traveling from Delhi to Mumbai more than 24 hours on road, so more than for directly for 24 hours I can't drive. So
of
either we
course.
have multiple drivers. If I
Uh-huh.
am going, yeah, so I need to make pit stop. I need to check the hotel availability where I'll be making pit stops. So practically on longer journeys, we do not suggest. We suggest via train or you do it is via air you do it is because again being a pet location for pet the whole idea is pet safety happiness comfort.
That's true. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the session. Faisal, our time's up, and thank you so much for joining us and helping us understand so much about everything that we needed to know. Like we went into a depth of a lot of things, and it helped
Thank you so much.
understand a lot of queries that us pet parents have, and especially people, nowadays, because traveling and relocation has become such a new normal. It's not something like it's not a thing that is very rare anymore. People are relocating and traveling to different cities, and in fact relocating to different and newer cities on a very regular basis now, because of how things have changed. So I am sure that this helps a lot of people in understanding any everything that we needed to know about pet travel and relocation. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, pet parents, who joined us for this lovely session and who participated in the session. I hope Faisal here was able to answer all your queries. I hope we were able to help you in some way. To people who are joining us now who missed the session, don't worry. This video will be available on our Pet Keeping 101 video section on our Facebook page and even on our YouTube channel. So you can check it out there. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot again,
Great.
Faisal.
Thank you so much. It was a great time. Thank you so much. Good.